Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be talking about how to get your first rental property. I am going to give you some good tips in order for you to get prepared before you buy your first rental property. Alright? Well, let's begin. Alright, tip number 1. The first tip will be that you have to find a way to improve your credit score. Your credit score is very important because depending on your credit score, you will get approved for a loan, you will get a better rate, and pretty much, the credit score is very important. If you check my channel, I made a video which areas you have to check in order to improve your credit score, all right? For example, right now, if you have a 740 plus credit score, which is considered good, you could even maybe get an interest rate below 3% right now. However, if you have like a 550, 600 credit score, more than likely you will get like a 4 or higher interest rate. That's if you get approved, because the banks now are very picky and they are not just lending to anybody, okay? Tip number 2, you have to find ways to reduce spending in order to save for the down payment. Now, I know in some cases you don't have to pay a down payment. Like in my case, I am a veteran, so if I use the VA loan, I am not gonna pay any down payments. And if that's the case, you should take advantage of that. But if you are not, the lowest down payment, which could be an FHA loan, will be 3.5%, okay? So let's say you want to buy a $300,000 house, 3.5% of that is about $10,500. So in order for you to get to that $10,500, you have to reduce spending and start saving, all right? And not to mention that you also have to pay closing costs, which is usually between 2 to 3% of the loan. So if you add that 2% on top of the 10,500, we're already talking, about 6,000 more. So if you add that 6,000 plus the 10,500 for the down payment, we are talking about 16,500. I know it's not that easy to save, but if you are determined and you really want to buy a house or your first rental property, you have to really check on your spending and reduce as much as possible and save, all right? So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3, once you have the money to invest and you're ready to buy a property, you have to really analyze the market. So you have to know which areas are good, which areas have the best schools, which areas are hot, and which areas are cold. And you also have to check if it is a good time to buy, or if maybe it is a good time to sell. For example, here in Miami, when it comes to houses and townhomes, more than likely they are really high right now. So I wouldn't be buying that. But if you look at condos, especially luxury condos like this one where I live right now, pretty much if you go back in history, back in 2016, there was like a mini crash because there was a lot of construction in Miami for luxury condos and there was not that much demand, so that caused prices to go lower. So with that being said, right now I think it's a good time to buy luxury condos or apartments in Miami. However, I don't think it's a good time to buy houses or townhomes in Miami right now. So you can do the same thing in your city or in your area to see, which opportunities are there and if it is a good time to invest now or maybe wait a little bit more. Because let's be honest, the housing market has been going up for a long time already. And if you compare it to the 2008 bubble, we are pretty much at the same level or close, depending on the city where you live. And I am almost sure that within the next 2 years, 2 to 3 years there is gonna be a house market crash. All right, and that's where you have to be ready, because that's the best time to buy and invest. All right, so that's tip number 3. If you find a duplex or a triplex, I think that's a really good option, because what you can do is you live in one bedroom and you rent the other bedroom or the other 2 bedrooms, and more than likely you will be able to pay the whole mortgage and all the extra expenses, and more than likely you could live for free. So that could be a good option for a beginner. Tip number 5, you have to learn how to choose tenants. Okay, that's very important. In my case, for example, I will not get a tenant unless I am 100% sure that that tenant is going to be a really good tenant. And what I mean by that, my first criteria will be they have to have at least 700 credit score or higher. They have to show me proof that they have a stable job. They also have to show me proof that they have savings, because you can have somebody that makes 100,000 a year, but if that person spends all that and more and has a lot of credit card debt, then that tenant could have some problems and you don't want to deal with that tenant in the future. Okay, also make sure you check for the background. You also, if they live in another apartment or building, you could maybe ask where, so that you can ask if this tenant was good, if the tenant pay all his rent. Okay, very important. And finally, tip number 6, you have to read, different books, because these books are actually going to help you and you're gonna learn a lot. Like, one of my favorite books is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. It's really famous. Or you can also watch YouTube videos like this one, or there is a really good channel called Bigger Pockets. They are really good in real estate. And even Graham Stephan, that channel is also really good when it comes to real estate. And pretty much just get familiar with how it is to deal with tenants. Another book that I like is Rental Property Investing by Brandon Turner. Okay? Alright, so with that being said, I'm gonna tell you how I got my first rental property. Alright, so that was back in 2015. I got a job with the federal government in Jacksonville. So I moved from Miami to Jacksonville. And since I already had some money saved, I said, well, I'm gonna start working here. So more than likely, it is a good idea to buy a house now, because there was a lot of new construction going on in Jacksonville at the time. And I really analyzed the market and I said, yeah, it is a good market, it is hot. There is a possibility that these properties are gonna be going up in the next years. And with that being said, I bought a brand new home, and I actually got it on December, which is when the builders want to sell as much as possible to make their numbers and get more commission, of course. So I was able to get a property there that they were asking about $200,000 at the time for only $170,000. Alright guys, I just want to show you the first house I bought, and it's a rental property. As you can see, this is a brand new home, and when I got it, I actually got it with some upgrades like stainless steel appliances, tile floors, granite, really nice kitchen, nice size living room, that's the master room, master closet, master bathroom, first room, second room, the other bathroom, and the door was really nice too. and of course the amenities that includes a playground and a swimming pool. Really nice house. Yes, I know. And the best part, they pay for all closing costs. So it was really a really good deal. And pretty much I got a 3.75 interest rate, so that was really good too, due to my credit score, which is really good, as you may see in the video I made that you can check in my channel. And then of course I live in the property until 2017, and I made sure I stay in the property for about 2 years. And the reason why it is important to stay in the property for 2 years is because if you want to sell it, you don't have to pay capital gains. Very important, okay? So after the 2 years, I said, okay, I have saved more money, so let me see if I can buy another property. So I started looking around, and I decided to buy another house closer to my job. And I also bought it from the same builder, D.R. Horton, and I actually even got a better deal because they pay for the closing costs, better appliances, some upgrades in the property, and on top of that they pay 1 point, so my interest rate was even lower, and I think I got it for like 3.6 at the time. And then pretty much, I didn't pay closing costs, so pretty much at the end it just felt like I got the property for free because I didn't really pay anything. And I'm gonna do a video on how I got it, how I negotiated the deal. So subscribe so you don't miss that video, and hit the like button. Okay, so well, pretty much once I got that house, I move out. And since I was working in a naval base over there at the time, they have a program where if you want to rent your house to military members, you can sign up and then your house will be listed, and if a military member wants to rent it, then they will contact you. So that's what I did. I put my house in the listing, and I got lucky, and a senior chief called me and she said, oh, I am interested, I would like to see your house. So I met with her, and she really liked the house. And then of course I did my regular screening. So I checked her credit score. She had a decent credit score. It was about 680, not too bad, but at the same time she's a senior chief in the Navy, so that's a reliable job. And so I didn't care much about that. And I noticed she didn't have a lot of debt, and I could tell I could trust this lady because, again, she is a senior chief in the Navy. I was also working in the Navy, in the naval base, and military people are trustworthy. All right. So with that being said, I of course got the contract, got 1 month deposit, and next thing you know, she moved in. I charged about 1,400 rent per month, and after paying everything, all the costs, I will make about $350. So that was a really good cash flow. And the best part was that this property now is worth about $250,000, and I only owe about $140,000. So it's a really good deal, and that was how I got my first rental property. All right, so I hope you like this video. As always, please subscribe, hit the like button, and ring that bell so you don't miss my next video. All right, well, thank you very much, and hope you have a wonderful day.